is another poem adaptation. So I went off to war as Jacob or Jay. That's what my family calls me. Actually, they call me Possum. That's my Arkansas name. My nieces call me Uncle Possum, which is my personal favorite, but I don't ask people to call me that. It makes people feel weird sometimes. So, I went off to war as Uncle Possum, and I come home as Sergeant George. And my family, my mother is projecting onto me, and son, and my sister and brother is projecting onto me, brother, and my nieces are projecting onto me, Uncle Possum. But the issue for me is I don't feel like any of those things anymore. They have no idea who I am, and neither do I. And I feel like I can't fully embody or fulfill these expectations, these projections, this idea of me that everyone's putting on me and my family. It makes me feel very uncomfortable and anxious. But at the same time, my country is treating me like Sergeant George, the war hero. But I don't feel like that either. So here I am, stuck somewhere between Uncle Possum and Sergeant George. And I don't really feel like either of those people. But I try to go along with it. I try to fulfill these expectations, and that puts me in a very strange state of mind. It's very hard for me to reintegrate into this world when I've been dramatically altered and no one understands quite what has happened. To some degree, they don't want to hear what has happened. It's leave the war back at the war, you're home now. Well, this has caused damage to the soul. You see, something happens through going to war, through basic training even, you weaponize your soul. And the problem with doing that, especially in today's military, is they don't teach you how to disarm yourself. You are an effective weapon after that. That causes serious moral injuries. But I didn't know how to talk to them about that at the time, you know? And all these things bottled up inside, I didn't know how to articulate. I was just angry and I was mad and I was violent. I used to be a very rough person to be around. And chances are some of you may know a veteran that's violent, and that's that reacts to things with violence all the time. Everything's a nail and this dude's a hammer. Well, part of that is not knowing how to talk about all that stuff going on inside. And you know what? We all experience this to some degree. Society projecting these unrealistic expectations onto us and trying to fulfill them and this and that. This is something we're all struggling with, not just veterans. So I read through this book, and the book was put together in Philadelphia, actually. It's called Warrior Writers. It's a collective of veterans that write about their experiences at war, post 9/11 veterans. It's called the After Action Review. And I read this poem and I was just like, oh my gosh. It just summed up everything for me and touched my soul. I've been looking for these words for a while. So, it was called They Call Me Son, They Call Me Hero. but to me I'm neither. I'm not what you think. I'm scared of me. I'm not that boy they live. I've danced with death. Call me son, they call me hero, but to me I'm neither. They call me precious, they worship my sacrifice. They gave me medals, validates their lies now. The colorful playing on my chest. A console like a lullaby. They call me son, they call me hero, but to me I'm neither. They call me son, they call me hero, but to me I'm neither. Celebration of my love deed puts my heart at unease. Parades and flags can't change what I've done. There's no honor in what I become. They call me son, they call me hero, but to me I'm neither. They call me son, they call me hero, but to me I'm neither. I'm neither. Well, oh, 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 I'm neither.